You deserved everything you got. This is a union city.
That is a Philadelphia tradition.
Seize the means of podcasting.
Oh God, the boss has crushed us.
Let me tell you one thing else.
In oldie-timey times,
The pleasure of the flesh is in solidarity.
we will not raw dog reality for that one.
It's going to be wholly unprofessional.
The Scab Buster.
What have we become?
Keep together strong. Let that be your mantra.
Solidarity. Solidarity forever.
Hello, and welcome to the Labor John podcast, where we kick out the jams to the working class history of Philadelphia and the surrounding world. My name is Young Sam James. I'm the MC5 of the podcast, and I'm joined today by...
I'm Gabe Christie. I don't have an alphanumeric designation yet.
Oh my God. And today we are joined by, maybe, possibly, Gabe's dag.
Elizabeth Gurley Flynn.
Like dags, Gabe?
I do like dags.
You like dags?
Yes.
Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, that's correct. And today, that's Gabe's dog, by the way. Today, we are going to learn about...
Well, what's your favorite union, Sam?
It's probably the...
That's right. The American Federation of Full-Fashioned Hosiery Workers.
No.
Yes.
It wasn't them.
No?
No.
Oh, well,
Honestly,
that's who we're learning about today.
Okay. Never. It doesn't matter then. Well, thanks for... Okay. Well, I appreciate you bringing me into the conversation.
Well, who is your favorite union?
I like the Wobblies.
That's fair.
Can't beat the Wobblies.
Yeah.
I also like the one we mentioned a couple episodes ago that had the Guinness World Record for the longest union name.
Oh.
That one out of Washington, D.C., I think it was. Or it might have been Washington State, but whatever.
Yeah.
That was D.C. It was D.C. The ITWQQQW, blah, blah. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. That was a good one.
But we're not going to learn about any of these fucking people today because we're going to learn all about the union of the hose.
Yeah, the hosiery workers.
Oh, the hose. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Gabe, take us away, buddy.
I will. So we're going to be talking about the hosiery strike in Lansdale, PA in 1933.
1933, Lansdale, PA.
Yep.
Okay.
So as we've covered before, because we've talked about AFWA before, hosiery trade was very profitable. Most women were wearing stockings, and those stockings had to be made by people. And those people theoretically were getting paid, and they all organized unions so that they could have better conditions and better pay.
Okay.
So southeastern Pennsylvania was also like a major production hub of stockings.
Oh.
Like it wasn't just in Philly; it was all of the surrounding counties as well.
Oh. Interesting.
So.
Well, Philly boys look pretty good in a pair of fishnets. I got to tell you that.
It's true. I mean, the mummers need their supplies somewhere.
That is true. That's yeah.
And when you're day drinking for like a week and a half straight and wearing stockings, you go through them real quick. So you need a lot of pairs. So,
okay.
But so AFWA was active all over southeastern PA, obviously with their focus in Kensington, in Philly. And they were specifically organizing, trying to win closed shops. So that was always their primary goal whenever they started an organizing drive.
And for those who do not know, what are closed shops, Gabe?
A closed shop is when you basically force the employer to only hire union members.
Okay.
So that means everyone in the shop has to be a member of the union so that if there's a strike, everyone goes out together. They had done a lot of organizing in the 20s, and as the Great Depression picked up in the early 30s, they started to face a lot of pressure coming back from the bosses. Like I said, they had a lot of closed shops and had a fairly good control of the labor pool in the shops that they had actually organized. But they were starting to see reductions in wages, and they were actually willing to kind of negotiate with the employer to take wage cuts so long as they kept that closed shop rule. Because they figured that if they could keep the union there, then they could win back those victories.
Yeah, they'll eventually get them back. Sure.
Yeah. But that was only in the shops that they had already organized. And they also knew that in order to keep all of that sustainable and to keep those organized shops from being undercut by non-organized labor, they had to expand. So in the early 30s, they really made a push to go and organize all of the shops around Philly. So they started going into Berks County, Montgomery County, York County, and Delaware and Lancaster County.
Wow. Okay. They're really spreading out.
Yeah. So basically like all of southeastern PA.
Yeah.
The other thing that really changed a lot of this was the 1933 National Industrial Recovery Act.
Oh.
Which was one of the first like big labor bills from the New Deal. Had a variety of different provisions. Basically allowed industry to set up kind of semi-regulated monopolies. So instead of having just constant competition for prices, they set up regulated sections of industry. So like everyone in this field would collaborate on prices, and the government kind of signed off on that weirdly.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a strange corporate price fixing thing that got legalized. Like this was part of the New Deal platform because it was the idea was to basically just stabilize prices.
Okay.
So these were always supposed to be like temporary measures.
Yeah.
But they needed to either prevent massive deflation, which would cause another depression, or they needed to prevent massive inflation, which would make the current depression even worse. And that's where all of those weird price fixings came in.
Okay.
Then the more important side of it to our story is that it included a ruling that allowed for employees to bargain collectively and barred employers from forcing workers to either join a company union or to not join a union. And weirdly, the way the law was worded was there wasn't any like actual enforcement provision worked into this, at least from what I could tell. When it first passed, it wasn't clear how it was going to be enforced. And
the honor system, of course.
Yeah, basically. But it was like, this is the first time the federal government is saying like, hey, unions can actually serve a purpose and you're not allowed to force people to join a company union anymore.
Interesting. Okay.
And it basically outlawed yellow dog contracts, which is either if you join a union, you automatically get fired, or you have to join a company union.
That's my favorite law.
Yeah. Yellow dog contracts are great. That's the background. That happened in June of 1933.
All right.
At which point, there were 3 hosiery mills in Lansdale, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
They were the Interstate, Dexdale, and Arcadia hosiery mill companies. Dexdale and Arcadia were both like normal run-of-the-mill hosiery companies. Dexdale was just like a little family-owned business. And Arcadia, from what I could tell, was just a normal company.
Okay.
But Interstate Hosiery had some shenanigans. They were a Delaware corporation, which meant that it was like a holding company of a holding company. At least I couldn't find a citation for it, but at least on their Wikipedia page, it was claimed that they basically illegally stole a patent from another hosiery company.
Oh.
And were producing effectively counterfeit stockings until like 1938. And
I mean, how many variations of stockings are there? Oh my god!
there was something.
Is it a pattern, or is it the material they used, or the look? What is it?
I think it's how the toe was closed.
Wow.
And like at least according to the Wikipedia, the company they stole it from used like a golden colored thread to close the toe.
Okay.
And they used a slight variation on that, but we're closing it the same way.
They used a mustard yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they also had a lot of weird like stock buyback schemes and got sued a lot in the late 30s. So that's the Interstate Hosiery Company. It doesn't really have much to do with our story, but it was just interesting to see how weird shenanigans have not changed.
It does sound like it's an offshore company, though.
Actually, I don't know what the holding company that owned Interstate was, because it was only about Interstate, but they said that it was owned by a Delaware company.
It was Blackwater.
So, yeah, probably. Somehow Dick Cheney's involved in this.
Somehow Dick Cheney's involved in everything.
Okay, so June 16th, 1933. This was actually the day that Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed the National Industrial Recovery Act.
Oh.
And a few hours after the law was signed, making it illegal to fire people for forming a union.
Yeah.
The management at Interstate Hosiery Mills fired 7 organizers for forming a union.
Wait, they can't do that.
Yeah. So the union's attorney warned them that sent a statement to them saying that we are asking that you comply with the terms of the law and reinstate the dismissed men. Otherwise, we shall be compelled to lodge a formal complaint with United States District Attorney Edward W. Wells. That, from what I can tell, didn't really go anywhere.
All right.
And was probably just a way for them to, like, put some pressure on the company.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, the roughly 1,700 to 2,000 employees of the 3 mills in Lansdale were all getting ready to do something more fun. While this was all going on, 2,000 members of AFWE were already on strike in Reading, which was only 50 miles away. And they publicly announced that they were going to fight for the organization of every single hosiery plant.
Okay.
So they were basically laying down the rule, like, you have to follow the National Industrial Recovery Act, or we're going to just start striking everywhere.
Okay, I'm down with this.
Yeah.
I did my time here. Okay.
Yeah. All of the hosiery manufacturing firms.
This is the part of the episode where the roller coaster is going up. Click, 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 click.
It'll start going over the hill real quick.
All right.
So
that's what I'm waiting for, Gabe.
So all of the hosiery manufacturing companies, they had their own little consortium. And they responded by kindly asking.
I love everybody's so nice in this episode. What is happening?
It's very genteel right now.
Does like stockings bring that out in person or something? I
guess so.
It's weird because it never does for me. It's usually the opposite.
I mean,
that's right, Gabe.
So they asked them to postpone striking until more information could come in from Washington about the specific provisions of the act in question. So,
all right.
So they were in like this weird moment of peace, but tension was still kind of growing because they knew something was about to happen, but no one knew exactly what or when or where.
Okay.
Then,
great.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like I said, all of the workers in these 3 plants in Lansdale were organizing and getting ready to go on strike. And finally, on June 29th, 1933, so about 2 weeks after those organizers were fired, 1,700 workers walked off the line at Dexdale Interstate in Arcadia, basically shutting down the entire hosiery industry in Lansdale.
Nice.
And they explicitly said their only demand was union recognition.
Oh, all right.
So they weren't making any economic or conditions demands. They just wanted to have a union. And the employers, of course, immediately refused to recognize the union. So the workers continued their strike.
This is a very by the numbers episode so far, Gabe.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also, this is one of the interesting things of the National Industrial Recovery Act, because it said you can't force people to be in a union or to not be in a company can't be involved in union decisions, basically.
Okay.
But it didn't have any provisions for how a union gets recognized. And
so you can just be like, I recognize you officially, or you can be like, yeah, I saw you over there.
Yeah,
I saw you.
Basically.
Okay.
Or more often than not, it's not even saying that you saw them.
Oh, damn.
It's just
cold, Gabe. That's cold.
Totally the cold shoulder. And that's what the hosiery companies were doing.
Oh. Yeah, they think they're better than me or something?
I mean, yeah.
It sounds like they think they're better than me, Gabe.
They're stealing stocking patents. What are you doing with your life?
Wearing stockings.
Ooh.
Patents? I don't know.
I mean, you
staple patents.
This was also, a lot of these companies had gone through temporary shutdowns throughout the Depression.
Okay.
But this is the first time that Interstate had shut down basically ever.
An upstanding company like Interstate?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
So this, like I had said earlier, this is kind of part of a huge push across Berks and Montgomery counties. In total, by this point in 1933, there were 16 hosiery mills on strike across the two counties.
Damn.
With about 7,000 workers involved.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hosiery.
It's we also don't think about how many people were involved in just making stockings.
Yeah. Jesus God.
But if you think every woman or every femme presenting person,
thank you, Gabe.
Yeah, was probably owning I'd say 5 to 7 pairs
at least.
Yeah, and then replacing those fairly often. Yeah. So
they probably rip real quick back then.
Yeah.
So
yeah, these were mostly silk.
Damn.
Yeah, that was later on. There's a whole argument within the hosiery industry and involving AFWA about importing silk from Nazi Germany.
Okay.
And weirdly, the preference was import silk from Imperial Japan. It's not much better, but getting back to the strike, the first few days of the strike were actually very calm. There was picket lines established out front of the plants. But on Wednesday, July 5th, Norman Snyder and Miss Florence Martin got off of a northbound train at the Colmar train station, which is about 3 miles northeast of Lansdale.
What's the latitude and longitude, Gabe?
I don't know.
You don't have that on you?
No. I know if you take the Lansdale-Doylestown line from Wayne Junction, it's about a 40-minute train ride.
Everyone knows Gabe knows this.
Yep. I just looked up SEPTA times. So, okay. So shortly after getting off of the train, Snyder and Martin were set upon by a group of strikers. William Ritchie, a striker from Fortuna, PA, was arrested on assault charges and was released on a $500 bail. Then additional warrants were put out for 9 others who were all believed to be strikers as well.
Okay.
The Norman Snyder and Florence Martin were both employees of the Interstate Hosiery Mill and were known to not be sympathetic to the strike. It's unclear as to whether or not they were trying to scab. But yeah, there's
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, there's more to this story than got reported. But it could also just be that these two people were assholes and the strikers were like, hey, we have an opportunity to beat up some people at work we don't like.
That's true. I mean,
so
people at home, would you not take that chance?
Yeah.
You're like, man, if I can fucking beat the shit out of Ricky over in finance and just walk away.
I mean, Steve from accountant has it coming.
Steve accountant does have it, but Ricky from finance.
That's true.
There's a missed paycheck or two. I'm still wondering about.
But yeah, so that was the first bit of violence. And there were immediately the police cracked down or arrested William Ritchie. I don't think they ever got the 9 others. They had their names, but no one seems to have actually done anything about it, or at least the arrests weren't reported on.
Well, that's good enough for police work.
Yeah. So the strike dragged on, and as things go, people started to get a little bit more desperate. Tensions in the town started to rise. Then on Monday, July 10th, 40 workers at the S. Homer Kendig Clothing Company and 30 pretzel makers.
Hey, what?
At the Perfect Food Corporation.
Okay.
Walked out.
Best name for any company I've ever heard.
Yep. Walked out and joined the hosiery strikers in strikes for recognition.
What a store brand name for a company. The Perfect Food Corporation? Is that what it was?
Yep.
All right.
They Perfect Foods apparently had a couple different bakeries and mills.
Really?
Because in the reporting about it, I think they mentioned that there was a Perfect Food strike in Philly as well. So apparently they used to be a thing.
Episode 56?
Yeah. I need like a giant bowl of pretzels to eat while we're doing that one.
That'd be the best.
Yeah.
Welcome to Podcast.
Okay, so the strikes at the clothing company and Perfect Food Corporation seem to have caught their larger unions off guard, because a representative from AFWE ended up helping them to organize. So Walter Bromley, who was the lead organizer for the hosiery workers, went and helped organize both the shirt makers at Kendig and the pretzel makers at Perfect Food, because they needed an organizer and no one from the bakers and confectioners was available yet. But that walkout didn't go as smoothly as the others.
Oh no.
Immediately after leaving the plant, pretzel workers got into a fight with the police. And one worker, who is a pregnant 18-year-old woman.
Oh, shit.
Whom the Inquirer kept referring to as a girl wife, which is a term that made me deeply uncomfortable. And they insisted on calling her girl wife every time.
Okay.
So
moment of silence for good taste. Okay.
Yep. The 30s. Welcome to the 30s, people. But yeah, so she was struck by the policeman Kenneth Lear.
Oh, damn.
6 other strikers had altercations with the cops. 2 were hosiery workers who had come to the pretzel factory to show support. The other 4 were all pretzel workers. All were immediately arrested after the fight. The 2 hosiery workers were fined $5, and the pretzel workers were released shortly after.
How's the girl wife?
She was sent to hospital and was recovering, but I don't think there was any permanent damage.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear about the girl wife.
Yeah, that. And they like specifically didn't interview her. They interviewed her husband, and he was very upset about all of this. And it was just like on the one hand, during like the shirtwaist strikes in the 19-teens, so 20 years before this, they were interviewing like 14-year-old pickets and letting them just soapbox. And then this one, a woman gets attacked by the police, and they're like, "We need to interview your husband, ma'am."
Excuse me, is your husband home, ma'am?
Yeah.
History is just peaks and valleys, Gabe. It goes up and down.
Yep.
I don't know where we are now. Fuck it.
Yeah. Surprisingly, the news of the police attacking a pregnant woman was just as upsetting to Pennsylvania Governor Gifford Pinchot as it was to us.
Oh. Nice to hear.
So he sent 4 state police troopers to Lansdale to protect the factory strikers from the local cops and to basically just observe the situation. And with specific orders that so long as the strikers are peaceful and no longer, the state police will protect them.
Okay.
So that protection wasn't immediately extended to hosiery strikers, but the police were in town and at least observing everything. But that also meant that tensions were getting higher in town because now the cops knew that they were under observation.
Yeah.
And they weren't terribly happy about that.
Gabe, things never change, do they?
Nope. There were also multiple strikes going on. And basically they knew that whoever drew first blood was going to have the entire state apparatus come down on top of them. Yeah. Also at this point, all 3 hosiery plants had fully shut down production, and they weren't trying to reopen yet.
Okay, that's good. So no scabs as of yet.
Not yet. Until Tuesday, July 18th.
Jesus Christ. Why do I talk?
The Dexdale hosiery plant attempted to reopen. They tried to bring in employees, and when they got there, they were met by 500 pickets who formed a basically just mob in front of the entrance.
Who formed the Flying V.
Yeah. So this was also in direct defiance of an order by Burgess E.K. Bean.
I'm sorry. No. If your name is fucking Bean, you don't get to abbreviate letters in your name, sir. I'm sorry. You're Bean.
Yeah. So Burgess Bean had decreed that there would be no picketing within 50 feet of the plant.
Okay.
And local police tried to enforce that, but got immediately overwhelmed by the 500 pickets.
Yeah.
And despite getting in a few fights with the strikers and making a couple arrests, they weren't able to break the line. So they called in reinforcements.
Oh no.
They brought in Montgomery County Sheriff Razzletine S. Lever.
Oh, we're good, guys. We're good.
Yeah. Who brought in 30 deputies from the Cheltenham, Jenkintown, Ambler, and Abington police departments.
Oh, shit.
All of whom were heavily armed.
Oh.
So the sheriff and his deputies moved in with guns drawn and started to force the pickets away from the plant. At first, they were unsuccessful, and the strikers held the line. But one deputy put on a gas mask, walked along the sidewalk in front of the plant with a tear gas canister, and started releasing tear gas downwind into the crowd.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So great stuff.
Yeah. So we're rooting for this gentleman, correct?
Yes.
We're on the cop side.
Friend of the show, tear gas.
Friend of the show, tear gas. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So the pickets covered their noses and mouths in an attempt to, ward off the tear gas. And many actually stayed on the sidewalk for a bit, but eventually they were all forced back. After the tear gas, a fight broke out, and a striker threw a rock at the police, striking Rodney Shaver, who was the Jenkintown chief of police. And it was reported that he was left with a painful laceration.
Oh, I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah. So after the tear gas and that little fight, the strikers retreated back to the music hall, which had been their strike headquarters this whole time.
Oh.
So then they returned to the picket line in the afternoon, where they were met with even more mounted police, because while they were taking their little siesta and regrouping, the sheriff had procured more horses.
No.
So as they came back and reformed the picket line, more scuffles broke out. Strikers were arrested for getting fresh with deputies.
What is this, 95?
Yep.
Getting fresh.
So in later testimony, that guy Shaver, the Jenkintown chief of police, reported that a 19-year-old woman named Mabel Irvin.
I'm sorry, a girl wife.
Yeah, well, I don't know if she was
a girl
married.
person. A girl
person.
A girl soon to be wife.
Yes. It's the 30s. We can't refer to women as people. So Mabel Irvin had said, "That's a nice horse. I hope you fall off of it and break your neck."
Oh. Damn.
Yeah. So that was kind of the attitude at this point.
I like it.
Yeah, people were not happy. The Dexdale Company claimed that 200 workers had gotten through the picket line after the deputies came in and forced the strikers back. AFWA disputed that number. There's no real way to know what the actual number was. So somewhere between 0 and 200 people got into the plant that day and reopened production.
It's quite the gap.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably like over 100-ish. So the two men who were arrested in the morning were charged with violating a 1913 ordinance.
Jeez.
That pedestrians are ordered to obey the directions of the police at all times.
Damn.
Which is
okay.
A great law to have on the books.
That's just a rant from 20 years ago?
Yeah. Dude, I'm sure they just kept that in their back pocket for this. So they were placed on a $25 bail, but were unable to pay or were unable to cover it. So they were placed in county jail.
Nice.
Two more men were arrested for confronting the police later in the day, and were also placed in county jail.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, I think it was just 4.
I'm surprised I can hold it much.
Yeah. Well, this is in Norristown. So we should also remember the state police were also here and were supposed to be observing everything to make sure that there was no violence.
Okay.
And the 4 state police that were posted just sitting in their cars watching everything, according to them, had not seen any violence thus far. Now, it's kind of interesting because the the sheriff's deputies all claimed that the state troopers were helping the strikers. Because there was one sheriff's deputy claimed that he saw strikers go up to the state troopers and talk to them, and after that's when they swarmed the sidewalk. Which,
what?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But the fact that the state troopers were just sitting there watching this crowd of people get tear gassed, and their report up to the governor was that there was no violence. I'm not sure how sympathetic they were to the strikers.
I know. I think they're on their side, Gabe.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And this was after the Geneva Convention, so it was technically a war crime, but you could use it on civilians.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah. Then there was like a little bit of a legal battle happening in the background for all the rest of this. Just remember that. Edward Kane, who was the union's legal counsel, said that he was going to pursue an injunction against the police assaults, arguing that the NIRA, the National Industrial Recovery Act, legalized mass pickets, and that the police had no right to interfere.
Yeah.
And State Representative Darlington Hoops.
Darlington Hoops.
Of Reading said that he would look after the legal interests of the strikers who had gotten arrested. Now,
I'm sorry, Gabe. You got to give me a minute for Darlington Hoops.
It's a great. This is honestly this strike has had some great names.
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
straight fire with these names.
We're about to have another one,
except for Bean. Fuck Bean.
Yeah, Burgess Bean.
Bean don't know shit.
So the next day started pretty much the same way. Strikers formed picket lines outside of the Dexdale plant. But today, Ludwig Schierenbeck, the president of the Dexdale Company, and not a 16th century German vampire, invited all of the strikers to come back to work, claiming that 285 had already returned.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
He offered everyone a 40-hour work week and an increased rate of pay from 20 to 50%.
It's not what we were asking for.
Yep.
It's not what we were asking for.
So at first, the picket lines were mostly peaceful. They were probably yelling at the scabs as they were sneaking through.
And telling mounted police officers that they wish they would fall off their horses and break their necks.
Yeah. But the air about the plant was a little bit more tense, and people were noticing that the strikers were a little bit more prepared today.
Oh.
Because a lot of them were World War I veterans.
Oh.
And they
masks.
So there were a lot of strikers that had their World War I era gas masks on them that day.
Oh, no.
They knew a fight was coming, and they were going to be ready for it.
Are they about to fix bayonets?
Yeah. On the police side, there were 10 more deputies who had joined. So now there were 40 sheriff deputies.
I mean, how many deputies do you need?
At 7:15 a.m., the tension broke, and strikers rushed the entrance of the plant, blocking the path of trucks and cars that were carrying in scabs, and started throwing stones at the factory windows to break them. Those 40 deputies, some of whom were on horseback at this point, rushed the crowd, but actually got forced back again. They called for reinforcements, and a fresh stock of tear gas canisters was brought up.
No.
At this point, no one was using them, though, but they were on hand. So the morning brawl continued between the police and strikers. The pickets were throwing stones, bricks, and basically anything else that they could get their hands on.
You know, I know this isn't Philly proper, but to have these people push back police horses physically, that's pretty Philly.
The only thing that's making it not Philly is that no one has punched a police horse.
I'm sure someone punched one of these horses.
Yeah.
If you had a chance to, let's all just say we would never harm an animal. But if you have had a chance to punch a fucking horse, wouldn't you do it?
In Minecraft.
Or in Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. So Rodney Shaver, the Jenkintown chief of police, was hit in the arm again by another stone. So and I think he was just a stone magnet, is my theory.
Was it the same arm or was it the course? I mean,
They didn't say.
Okay.
They just said that he was hit in his arm again. So he also declared that if violence broke out again after the morning fight, he would use the tear gas canisters. So as the morning drew on, the cops succeeded in forcing the strikers back. Again, the pickets withdrew to the music hall to regroup. 4 state troopers who were observing the situation, theoretically to protect the strikers' rights to picket, withdrew when the fight broke out and just didn't want to have anything to do with it. So they got in their car and drove off.
Okay.
At this
life,
point,
Gabe. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. At this point, the union's elected leadership tried to calm the crowd down.
Okay.
Because they knew that like this could get out of hand really quickly. So they went around and were trying to like get everything to calm down, tried to reform everyone to get an orderly picket back together. Then at 4:15 p.m., they marched back to the plant and again ignored orders to stay off the sidewalk. So they surrounded the entire plant and the 40 deputies who were between them and the front gate.
Okay. It's a lot of people.
Yeah. The pickets started hurling rocks at the plant windows again and at the police. Small fights broke out between police and strikers, resulting in 8 arrests. As those men were being driven to Norristown, crowds surrounded the police van and tried to prevent it from leaving. It didn't explicitly say how the van got out of there, but I'm assuming they basically just floored it and pushed through the crowd of people.
Gabe, obviously you think less of these police officers. What is wrong with you? What's going on, Gabe?
You're right. Given how everything else has gone, they probably got out and asked very kindly.
Yes, thank you. Would you please comply with our orders? Yes.
So while all of that was going on, tear gas bombs were being thrown into the crowd now.
Oh man, I was just about to say Blue Lives Matter.
So it looked, or a group of deputies had gotten onto the roof of the factory so that they could throw the bombs farther into the crowd.
Oh, great tactics.
Yeah. But the strikers held their ground again because a lot of them were putting on gas masks.
Oh my God.
So one of the guys with a gas mask managed to grab a bomb and throw it back onto the roof of the factory. Which scattered all the police that were up there until the gas dissipated.
Man, what is it with police attacking veterans? Goddamn.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time.
So the police saw that they were getting pushed back, and one of them decided that he was going to take matters into his own hands.
No.
So he got up onto the roof with a rifle.
No.
And fired 6 rounds into the crowd, hitting 2 strikers.
No.
Claude Saylor, who was 20, was struck in the left thigh, and Wilmer Kriebel, 19, was struck in the right leg. Both immediately collapsed to the ground.
Yeah, you got shot in the leg.
Yeah, that happens. It's the usual response to that. So both collapsed to the ground and were carried out of the picket line by their comrades and were taken to the hospital in Norristown. So soon after the shooting,
the people in Norristown are like, what the fuck is happening? Stop coming to our goddamn neighborhood.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, that there were probably a lot of sirens like coming back and forth in Norristown. So soon after the shootings and the melee, things after all of that, everything calmed down a little bit because everyone was just kind of like, okay, you went a little bit too far. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go home now.
Let's dial it back.
Yeah, let's chill for a second.
Let's breathe.
Yeah,
inhale, exhale.
So news came down to the strikers that Governor Pinchot had ordered the plant to be closed to prevent further violence. Walter Bromley, again, the rep from Afwe,
friend of the
and
show,
friend of the show, pushed his way through the crowd, basically like shouting and yelling to get people's attention.
Okay.
Finally got everyone to quiet down for a second so he could talk. Told them that the mill had been ordered closed and that they should disperse. So slowly the crowd kind of backed off, broke up, and seemed to disappear. And then reformed a little away from the mill into a mass column.
God.
Who marched straight up to the entrance shouting that they had been victorious because they got the mill closed, which was their goal.
Yeah.
It should also be noted that the management at Dexdale said that they received no such orders from Governor Pinchot. It's unclear as to whether or not they were lying.
I think this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I think a little bullshit going on here.
Considering he went from 200 to 285 people were scabbing, I'm not trusting his math or his statements too much. And they specifically said that they were planning to just reopen the plant again the next day.
All right.
So
we'll see.
Yeah, they were basically saying like, "Hey, we're ready to do all of this again.
Yeah.
Have fun."
Okay.
But that night, a meeting was held between state, local, and union officials in Harrisburg.
Oh.
They agreed. They agreed that the county and borough sheriff and police would be removed from the situation, and state police would take over to preserve the peace.
Okay.
Picketing would be allowed to continue, but would be limited, and the state troopers were authorized to use force to prevent damage or violence.
I don't know about this.
Yeah. So basically, they had established a temporary truce.
Yeah, I guess so.
The strike was allowed to continue, and the plants were closed, from what I could tell. So it was an effective strike, but it was also being done like with a heavy state trooper presence
that could fuck you up at any moment.
Yeah.
Like
everybody started playing by the rules real fucking quick.
Yeah.
They also knew that like if they started fucking with state troopers, then National Guard would probably get called in.
Yeah.
And they didn't want that escalation.
Yeah, it was. I think this is a very like 50-50 truce, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean?
Like it weirdly, I need to do more research into Pinchot, because while all of this was happening too, his wife was like out on picket lines with other strikers.
Really?
And yeah, I need to read up on the Pinchots because they seemed like a much more interesting couple than I had realized.
Episode 57.
Yeah. So pickets continued throughout the rest of the month, but there was no further bloodshed. By the end of July, all of the strikes had been concluded for strategic reasons. Basically, it sounded like Afwe was reallocating resources to other strikes.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, they had 7,000 people out on strike at the beginning of the month, so they had a lot to deal with. Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't get a closed shop in any of the mills in Lancaster or in Lansdale.
Yeah, I saw this happening.
Yeah, but they did get a 25% increase in pay.
All right. They didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have got more having a union, but
this was kind of their tactic a lot of the times, that if they couldn't get a closed shop quickly, they would fight until they could get that 25% increase in pay, because at this point they had already achieved it at 100 different mills.
Oh,
so that like they were establishing a new higher pay rate.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's like it was a negotiated peace, but it was still progress, and it also showed even the non-union, or even the people that might not be supportive of the union, that like, hey, union's looking out for you.
Yeah.
You're still getting an increase in pay. Yeah, so that's how the 1933 Lansdale hosiery strike came about.
All right. I like that one, Gabe.
As I was doing some research, trying to look into like what all of these companies were like, one of the things I found was I think it was an obituary for Schierenbeck.
Okay.
And it was like, well, he was just a simple businessman and philanthropist and a proud industrialist in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. And not a guy that had like county sheriff deputies chuck tear gas and shoot at people.
It's all right.
Yeah.
He's dead.
He probably donated to the Montgomery County Hospital. So
I mean, come on, Gabe. I mean, what's more punching down than actually going after a dead guy?
That's
you
true.
know, come on.
That's very true.
When they go low, we go high, right, Gabe?
Yep. That's why they ended up on top of the mill to throw tear gas into the crowd.
And shoot people in the legs.
Yeah.
You're going down.
This technically counts as a mass shooting incident. So there's also that.
So casual.
Yeah.
Is that not the most American thing you've heard?
Yep.
On a podcast? Oh, you know what? I think that counts as a mass shooting incident. Yeah, I think you're right, Gabe.
Yep.
So matter of factly.
Yeah. Again, nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. Well, I mean, maybe we call it something different. I don't think they were calling it a mass shooting back then. They were just calling it
a Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Knocking out a few girl wives.
Oh, God. That phrase just makes me deeply uncomfortable.
There's a lot of phrases like that back then. It was like, you know what? Let's not bring that one back.
Nope.
All right.
Like, we can bring back, like, hip cat. That's a good one. It's a good 30-0 term, but...
Nah, I'm good, Gabe.
No?
Nah, I'm not going to bring back hip cat.
I think you should.
Hip cat?
Yeah.
I ain't bringing back hip cat.
Okay.
You can do what you want in your life, Gabe.
I am definitely not hip enough to do so. So.
But are you cat enough?
Meow.
Okay. Oh, my God.
Hey, this is Gabe, and thanks for listening to the Labor John podcast. So, for now, we live in a system called capitalism. And under this system, you have to exchange currency for goods and or services. And to that end, Sam and I put a lot of time, effort, and a fair chunk of our own money into keeping this podcast available and generally free. And if you'd like to help support us doing that, you can give us some money at patreon.com/LaborJohn. And if you choose to do so, we'll give you a fancy button every year, some cool merch, and an extra episode once a month, whenever possible, because life is hard, because capitalism. Anyway, we'd really appreciate your support if you've got a few bucks to spare. Also, if you happen to be a member of a union, and you want your fellow union members to learn about local labor history, we do commission work, like presentations, pamphlets, that kind of stuff. So if that sounds cool, you can shoot us an email at laborjohn@gmail.com, or contact us through laborjohn.com, or message us on social media, or whatever's most convenient for you. But if that sounds interesting, feel free to reach out. And anyway, thanks for listening. Solidarity. Have fun.